What's up? Figured I'd knock one more review out while I'm out here. I'm here at a place called Placerita Canyon. It's usually pretty busy, but it's completely dead today. I haven't seen anyone on the trail for the past like half mile or so. So I don't know. Figured it'd be a good time to do another review. I wanted to talk about one of my absolute favorite records this year, which is Winterfylleth's The Reckoning Dawn. Winterfylleth quickly became like one of my favorite bands. Had kind of a weird trajectory with this band. First time I heard them was with The Ghost of Heritage, which came out in 2008, I think, and it didn't really grab me. I enjoyed it, I didn't dislike it. I listened to it a couple times, but ultimately I was left kind of like with a lackluster feeling. But they were a band that I kind of just paid attention to. I'm into the whole pagan recreation thing, and just sort of like Northern European history in general, which I'm sure is obvious from the other albums I've chosen to review, and just my social media presence in general. But so bands who do that sort of thing are always on my radar, whether or not I'm super into what they're doing at the time. So a couple of years ago, three years ago maybe, I just sat down and listened to The Threnody of Triumph, and it just clicked with me. I don't know what it was. I don't think it's really fundamentally that different from The Ghost of Heritage, but it just kind of made sense in a way that it didn't before, and I just fell in love with the band. And I combed through their entire discography. I think on the record, The Dark Hereafter, they have like an Ulver cover, which is of course amazing. Ulver's one of the greatest black metal bands of all time. So, they just started to make more sense to me, I guess, is an easy way of putting it. So I had my ear to the ground. I was starting to get really, really more and more into the band, and then this year they dropped a record called The Reckoning Dawn, and just fucking blew me away. Absolutely stellar record. I'm sure most of you have already heard it by now. They're certainly not an underground band by any means, but just absolutely incredible music. I want to say it's like a little more aggressive than their usual output. It's certainly not Black Death or anything, but it's got a certain edge to it that I think isn't necessarily there on a lot of their other songs or records in general. It's still highly melodic, really beautiful, really catchy melodies, but there's a bite to it that kind of sets it apart. I think they're kind of consciously harkening back to that 90s sound coming out of Norway, which it's not really a secret that a lot of bands riff on that style, since it's sort of the genesis of what we know as black metal today. But there are certain bands who just do it because it's easy, because it's an available template, and then there's bands like Winterfylleth who bring it alive in a way, but with like modern sensibilities, not modern production. I'm not a huge raw black metal person, honestly. I like a lot of those bands, but ultimately it's just sort of like regurgitated at this point. It's uninspired. It feels like anybody with a computer can do it. That's why I appreciate bands like this, who are like very consciously bringing that 90s vibe back to life in a way, but doing it with modern sensibilities, modern technology, whatever you want to call it. But about the record itself, I already mentioned it's melodic, but with an edge, with a little aggression to it, and just a lot of memorable tracks on this thing. They've still got those like kind of folky instrumental interlude tracks, which really help to break up the pace of the record. I really appreciate when bands do stuff like that. It doesn't always have to be like, here's a black metal track, here's a folk track, here's a black metal track. It can be different genres. There's a band this year called BAC. I don't know, I think they're Czech or something, but they have like techno interludes. Maybe not techno, but electronic interludes, and I like that too. But just in general, I like a black metal record that has some variety to it, something to break up the monotony, for lack of a better word. Obviously, I can sit down and listen to an entire black metal record, but it's nice to have some variety in there. And Winterfylleth has always done that really well. They actually released a full record that's just like folk music, just acoustic stuff, which is interesting because there's also Wolsensman, which is like one of the dudes or multiple dudes from this band playing just folk music. So it's interesting that they also did that under the Winterfylleth name. I've never really understood what the distinction was, but it's cool. It's great music. I love it all. I really love Will Sensman too, but it's not black metal, so not really what I review on this channel. But regardless, really, really just truly cannot recommend this record enough. It's going to be in my top 5, I think, easily. I keep coming back to this thing. I think it has a really interesting quality because it's something I can like very actively listen to, but it's also something I can put on sort of in the background while I'm reading or just, you know, hiking. Like now, it's literally what I'm listening to. I stopped the record to just like make this review, but it's just, you know, it's got a lot of variety. You can tune out to it, but you can also pay attention and pick up on details, pick up on melodies that you didn't hear before. You know, I just will always sing this band's praises. I really don't think they'll ever do anything I don't like at this point, and I'm glad I came around on them. You know, that's something that's been happening to me more and more. You know, versus like, you know, maybe 5 or 10 years ago when I was kind of just like casually getting into black metal, and now when it's like 95% of what I listen to, I'm finding more and more bands that I didn't really get at first that I now sort of understand more. And this is a big one. So definitely check this record out if you haven't. I'd be shocked if you haven't, but, you know, give it a listen. Let me know what you think. And I guess if you're the sort of person who actually cares about engaging on the video, I'm curious what your favorite record of the year is. So, you know, if you feel so inclined, let me know what your favorite record of the year is. And if I haven't heard it, I'm definitely going to check it out. As always, thanks for watching, and enjoy your weekend.